This video is brought to you by the Deck of Many and their Heckna 5e playtest. Hello and welcome back to the Gallant Goblin. Today we're starting our review series about the new wave of unpainted minis from WizKids that released in August 2020. Many thanks to WizKids for sending us these along. We're starting with these 4 interesting sculpts in the Pathfinder Battles Deep Cuts line. Of course, many Pathfinder creatures are usable in D&D and other fantasy RPGs too. This time we have a Cultist Devil, we have a Dullahan, we have a Minotaur Labyrinth Guardian, and a Nightmare Dragon. Now, I've always warned you that I'm not a painter, but today I'll give you the easy way that I paint these translucent fiery bits. I bet many of you are much better painters than I am, so please drop me your tips in the comment section down below, and hopefully we can all learn from each other. For now, let's take a closer look at these Pathfinder minis. This is an unpainted version of the rare Labyrinth Guardian in the Pathfinder Maze of Death set from WizKids. Most of these figures are from Maze of Death, actually. I don't believe he has a stat block in 2nd edition just yet, but you can read all about him in the Inner Sea Monster Codex from 1st edition. These are undead Minotaur Grave Knight fighters who rule over their labyrinth mazes like destructive despots. They are shackled to their mazes by the same vile rituals that originally created them. His cape is a separate piece that you need to glue onto him, but it's probably easier to paint it before you attach it. If you're familiar with devils in D&D, they're pretty much the same in Pathfinder. They're lawful evil creatures bent on corrupting mortals by making lofty promises and getting them to sign their souls away with infernal contracts. Hell is a very structured, hierarchical society with many tiers that a well-performing devil can work their way up through. There are many types of devils, of course, and this one is an Apostate Devil, which is detailed in Bestiary 5 from 1st edition. It's a dangerous foe who likes to use cold, hard logic to turn people from their faith. There was also a painted Apostate Devil mini in the Pathfinder Battle set Maze of Death, but it was a slightly different sculpt. Generic cultists in 2e actually have their stat block in the Game Mastery Guide. They're listed under the Mystic category for those who have been initiated into the hidden and often forbidden truths of the world. Cultists blindly follow their sex leader and devote themselves fully to fulfilling its mission. Their stat block is for a level 1 human cultist who is able to enter into a fanatical frenzy, which makes them more dangerous but also easier to hit. A list of mystic rituals is also provided, should your cultist group up and want something to do besides playing GoldenEye or whatever it is kids do these days. This seems to be based on the Diabolical Mystic figure from Maze of Death, but again, it's an altered sculpt. This figure is great if you're playing the Diabolist Prestige class in 1st edition. The Dullahan, or Headless Horseman, is based on Irish folklore. One can manifest when a particularly violent warrior is beheaded and refuses to go to the afterlife, or is refused entry to it. It often returns to its homeland where it exacts vengeance on those it feels slighted it in life, claiming their heads in retaliation. The 2nd edition bestiary does have a stat block for it, and gives some plot hooks for Dullahans and Ustalav, the lands of the Lenorm kings, and along the western coast of Garund. The Dullahan is a level 7, large, undead creature. There was a previous but slightly different painted Dullahan mini in the Pathfinder's Shattered Star set. The painted version of this Nightmare Dragon also appeared in the Maze of Death set, and this creature also has a stat block in Bestiary 5. Nightmare Dragons inhabit the dimension of dreams and inflict nightmares on innocent people, often teaming up with night hags to harvest souls. This mini is standing on his translucent effect. If you wanted, you could paint that effect blue and use this mini as a blue dragon crackling with energy. Now, I promised you a tip on easily painting your translucent effects. For these effects, you'd want to use an ink or a watered-down wash, but I've been quite happy using one particular paint for my fire effects, namely the Citadel Shade Paint Cassandora Yellow from Games Workshop. The shade paints are essentially washes that seep into the recesses of your mini to give it depth. Any Citadel shade paint should work pretty well for your translucent bits. I ended up going back and adding a watered down orange paint to the base of this blade to try to give it a little bit more of a heat feel. It's not perfect by any means, but for just 2 minutes of work, I think it looks pretty good for the table. I am not a perfectionist, as you can tell, but you know, the sword looks good enough for me. I'll probably go and touch it up a bit when I paint the rest of the mini. These minis are available now. The Cultist and Devil pack has an MSRP of $4.99, as does the Dullahan. The Minotaur Labyrinth Guardian and the Nightmare Dragon are both $14.99 each. It's interesting to see them taking up some designs from previous painted minis, but altering them somewhat for their deep cuts release. Now that we're covering these unpainted minis with more regularity, I'm curious to see how often they do that. Be sure to subscribe to see our full coverage of all the unpainted minis going forward. God help us if we can do them all. And in case you hadn't heard, I'll be a guest player on the Band of Badgers live play of Rise of the Runelords over on Twitch, brought to you by Beadle Grimm and Paizo. You can check them out every Thursday at 1 p.m. Pacific time at the link in the video description down below, or on Beadle Grimm's or Paizo's official Twitch channel. I'll let you know the exact date of my appearance when we nail it down a little bit. Many thanks to WizKids for sending us these minis to review with you, and to our sponsor for this video, the Deck of Mini. Their Heckna Cosmic Carnival Horror Campaign setting for 5th edition is coming to Kickstarter on September 8th, 2020. You can still get a taste of it by checking out the free playtest document using the link in the video description down below. Heckna is a campaign setting for 5e that's centered on a carnival called the Revelia, overseen by the titular Heckna, a ringleader who loves nothing more than to fright and delight carnival-goers. Everything you need to get acquainted with the setting is included in the free playtest document, including stat blocks for new original creatures and magical items. And then if you like what you see, you can check out their Kickstarter for the full book on September 8th at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Visit heckna.com to sign up to be notified when it launches. Maybe I'll see you there. Thank you for watching today. Things are really busy here at Gallant Goblin HQ, and we really appreciate all the love and support you've given us. Clicking the little thumbs up button, sharing our videos with your friends, and subscribing to the channel all help us continue to grow and make new videos. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram to join the discussion. I hope you're staying safe out there and having fun. I'll see you next time at the Gallant Goblin.